You are listening to the Self-Help Psychic Podcast with your host, Tabitha Stitt. I am a psychic medium, licensed school teacher, and I'm here to provide you with messages from the universe, spirit, source, whatever you'd like to call this higher guiding power. Your soul's purpose is here happening right now. Are you aligned or misaligned? This podcast is going to help you discover everything you're meant to be and beyond. So I just asked Spirit, God, consciousness, what can we talk about today that will be most beneficial in this moment in time? And the question that came to me is, what do you struggle with most often, consistently? What is it that tends to keep popping up in your mind and in your heart? What is it that is a repetitive, irking pattern that just keeps popping up in your mind? Now, it might not be over and over and all day long, 24/7, but it's like this pattern of, okay, this is the same issue. This is the same thing that I keep thinking about. And perhaps this is the first time that you've ever thought about it this way. What is it that you oftentimes find yourself thinking about, worrying about? Now, of course, I don't want you to worry. That's not the intention behind this episode today. But it's more about this mindfulness, this awareness, this thing, whatever it is, that tends to keep popping up for you. This is actually a key to finding or refinding, rediscovering what it is that you are ultra passionate about, what it is that you can blend into your existence that will help you grow and move along. See, the things that we oftentimes struggle with the most is the thing that we just need to accomplish. We just need to get it done. We need to figure out a way to handle it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep irking us. It's just going to be deep within our soul. And that's exactly what that is. It's like your soul is talking to you. That's why it keeps popping up. And until it gets resolved, then it's just going to remain there. So it could be something that you want to accomplish, you want to succeed with, you want to see yourself obtain, perhaps it's a reward, or it's an acknowledgement, a label that you add onto your name. It is something of an accomplishment. Perhaps the struggle that is within your mind is something that you did and that you either feel ashamed of or regret, or you feel very terrible about it for whatever reason. Oftentimes something that we've done can't really be changed. We can't go back in time, of course, and change that, although we wish that we could, right? We wish that we could make a difference. But in those particular moments, if that indeed is the type of struggle that you're dealing with, then you can have a conversation. You can write to yourself. You can write to the person. You can ask for forgiveness, whether that's from someone else or for yourself. You can join a therapy group. You can talk to someone. You can resolve the energy behind the situation. But you can't necessarily go back in time and change that. It's not here to torment you, although it might feel that way. Instead, it is here to help you grow. I know that that is easier said than done. Of course, there is a regret that I have in my mind that I wish I could change. And with that, I realize, yes, I can't do anything about it as far as going back in time, right? But I can think about it in a different way and say, okay, well, maybe there was a stronger energy from someone else that somehow had an influence on the situation. And they somehow won that situation. I don't know if winning would be the right way to explain it, but their energy was stronger and it needed to play out in the way that it did, even though I don't understand it. And so that's another way of comprehending the situation, of accepting the situation, is thinking about it in a different perspective. It doesn't change the physical reality of the situation, but it does create a sense of ease. It creates a sense of peace. And then soon you'll find yourself thinking about it less and less and less. So that's an example of if you're struggling with something that perhaps stems from regret, not going back, not doing something. Now, if you can indeed do something about it, like reaching out to someone that you haven't talked to in a really long time, or just telling them that you love them, or you're just sending their love, like you could actually physically somehow do this. You can send a letter. You could just send your love, your thoughts, and your prayers to them. But if it's something of a matter like you want to achieve something and you think it's too late, that's a whole different ballgame, because in my mind, it's never really too late. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter how far along you are. It doesn't matter if you have children or not. I feel as though if there's something within your soul and your bones and in your heart that you do indeed want to achieve something, you can make it happen. There is a way. There's always a way to figure it out. One of my dear mentors that I adore, Marie Forleo, she talks about how everything is figure outable. Excuse me, because I might clear my throat a couple times. I've had serious allergies and they're just a pain in the butt right now. They're just an inconvenience. But I wonder if there's a message behind this. It's like, clear your throat, Tabitha. Clear your throat. Be louder. Speak your mind. So that's another way, actually, ironically, of looking at your struggles. So if there's an ailment, a physical ailment, or something that keeps either popping up or something that has landed in your lap, that's an annoyance, you can look at it symbolically and think, okay, why the hell did this happen? Like, why do I have an ache in my shoulders? I always have an ache in my shoulders. Well, maybe you are, in a sense, carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder. Maybe you're taking on too many responsibilities. Maybe you're taking on too many things. And it's no one else's fault, and it's not even your fault. It's just a realization that you have. And then you make changes based off of that awareness. We don't want to blame, because in a way that kind of takes the essence away. That takes the power away from you when you're projecting this blame. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't hold someone responsible for it. Of course, depending on the situation, because it could be quite severe, or maybe the severity isn't that high. But when we blame and blame and blame and blame and blame and blame, we're not taking responsibility for our own feelings and for our own actions. We're just using that as an excuse to remain where we are. Going back to the beginning, just look at a pattern in your life. What has been bothersome for you? How can you make the changes? How can you shift it? Can you look at it symbolically? Can you change your perspective? Can you move the energy in a different manner that will help you see the light in a different way, that will illuminate the situation? It is a sign. It is a message. It is your soul talking to you, and it's asking for resolve. those problems, those areas that tend to get in the way over and over and over again, it's here to help you, ironically. It's not here to torment you. It's something in your heart that you care about and that you love and that you want to resolve in some way. And there is resolve. There really is. It's just a matter of doing something that probably feels a little uncomfortable. It's a shift in the energy. It's doing something a little differently than what you've done before. It's just your soul talking to you, asking you to make a change. And so it is.
Thank you so much for listening. If you have a question that you want answered about spirit, empowering yourself, or how to manifest a life you truly love, head on over to tabithastitt.com/podcast and submit your question there. Until next time, continue to tap into your intuition, take action, and trust the process. And so it is.